And so it is. That's all we have to know. Really, that's all we have to know. So that we can indeed not only flourish and thrive and prosper ourselves, but open up a space for everything and everyone else to do likewise. Prosper in every good way, in the ways of the Divine One, like we were told we could by one of the most eminent examples of what it is to live a life connected to Source in the Master Teacher Jesus, through the Master Teacher Jesus. And what I love best about that man is, first and foremostly, he was a man, divine though he be. And he's just an example of all individuals who make it to the realization that they are indeed a potent point of light, a potent charge of light, with the function of simply just being that. Being all lit up. And that's all any one of us has to be. Aware of the light. And nothing else can trouble us once that's the case. Anything that comes to that that's not like the light is like the moth consumed in the flame. Cannot hold, cannot get through. Cannot stand. Because the Father and I are one. Light and I are one. Love and I are one. Light and I are one. Now it's as simple as that. And simple does not equal easy, as you well know. As we all well know. But deep in you, deep in every single individual, is that brilliant light, that brilliant lamp that cannot be enclosed. I say lamp just to give the human mind of ourselves an opportunity to see a lamp full of gorgeous light. But the lamp of the soul is not contained in anything, and its reach is everywhere. But you and I are all the time containing ourselves in one way or another. We see ourselves this much and so much, and that's that. Maybe we expand that, which is good. But we don't see ourselves as free floaters, so to speak, unencumbered, but able to know and be and live however we choose to. The mind is a light, and it's a very dim light compared to consciousness. See, consciousness is the fullness of light. It's all light. The mind is a light. And the mind can have us believe sometimes that that's it for us. We're a light. We get so much and that's that. But everywhere you go to any spiritual gathering that is interested in the truth, you'll hear the same thing. If you truly want to connect consciously with the divine, you have to go beyond the mind. Not out of your mind, but beyond your mind. There's a difference. And when we say go beyond your mind, we're saying stop thinking at the low level of mind and go beyond that. Go higher. Come higher, friend, as the scripture says. Come higher. There's more. But wait, there's more. And there'll always be that within you that's saying, but wait, there's more. So I don't know how you came into this room today. I know how I did, but I don't know how you came into this room today, or what you were thinking of in general, or what you were thinking of about yourself, or maybe you weren't thinking anything about yourself. But you could be thinking along the lines of the all-power that is available to you and within you and around you and about you and above you and below you and everywhere present. And you could be drawing from that almighty infinite power all the time. You are awake, but you have to be awake. Only when you're conscious can you do that. And I'm talking about conscious in the sense of nothing's going on in your mind, per se, that is distracting you or having you believe anything less than who and what you are or anybody else is. It's a phenomenal thing. As I say, for us just to know this is big. Now, to start getting excited about it and working in cooperation with it, of course, is bigger. And then to realize that kind of amazing sense awareness, even for seconds, is phenomenal. Once you do it once, even if it's for a second or two, you know you've done it once, you can do it again. What's not going to help you or me is all the worry and stress and annoyance about the busyness of the embodiment in the marketplace, which is the world. That's going to sap our energy, use up all of our time in the day. We lose too much of the day present to us because of our over-focus on yesterday and tomorrow. Rarely are we here right now, perfectly open and receptive to this minute I'm in right now, with full appreciation and full open receptivity to whatever good is there, and with presence and attention. I'm going to ask us all to practice that for the rest of the day. Let me know how you get on with it. Because as soon as you make up your mind to do that, it will seem like more distractions are trying to grab at you. It's like as if these, little chickadees are out there saying, yeah, we'll see how long that's going to last because we're going to give you a merry chase. Like little pixies. We have to start somewhere though, don't we? But most of us don't start at all because we say, what's the point? It never works out. I know who I am and I know I'm not going to stick to it. What's the point? There's so much in every single day that's offered to you and to me that could cause us to have all kinds of breakthroughs, but we're not excited enough about the new day. Our curiosity has vanished. Our eagerness to jump into the day and see what the day brings has kind of been dampened. It was Mark Twain that said, the longer I live, the more I realize how amazingly beautiful this world is. Why do we have to wait to be old to start waking up? Go back to the children, watch them, giddy with delight, full of glee at an ice cream, or full of glee when they go to the swing, or full of glee when they see a little puppy. What happened to us? What wore us out and wore us down? What was that? We grow in wisdom and grace, we're told. We grow in age and wisdom, we're told. Look around at all the people you know and ask yourself, could I look at them and say, yes, they're growing in age and wisdom. They're growing in beauty and grace. And then look to yourself and ask yourself the same question. Now, even if you could say to yourself one day out of the week, yes, I am, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I can remember the first time I was given a list from the Alcoholics Society, the AA group, and I had a list of 20 things, and it asked you to read these if you want to know whether or not you're an alcoholic. And of course, I'm very interested in everything that is going to help people and serve people. So I read it. And so I read it, and I read it, and I read it, and I got to the bottom of it. And it says, if you said yes to so many of these, then you're an alcoholic. I nearly fell off my feet. If you said yes to 3 things out of 20, I thought you'd have to get about 12 out of 20, do you know? We don't know ourselves, dears. We really don't. Isn't that too bad? I remember a joke about some elderly spinster in a community, and the old guys in the lounge of the pub toasting her and making fun of her, saying, this is to so-and-so, so-and-so. I mean, it's a joke. Written on her gravestone should be, returned to her maker unopened. Look at all of the opportunities you and I have been given. Gifts that remain unopened. What do you want to have written on your memorial stone? Apart from your name, although your name might be good enough, certainly. What would you like people to read on your gravestone? She was fun. Would be good. He was a good man. That would be good. She really made a difference. That would be good. Think about it. Now, this is not to depress you, my dear ones, because it's not going to matter to us when we go over what they say on our gravestone. We're not going to be worried about it. As Ernest Holmes said, you know, when I go, I'm gone. And if anybody tells you they've seen me, I came to them, they're lying. When I leave here, I'm done, and I'm on to the next. And that's why people say, oh, he wasn't known for this, that, and the other until he was dead. It happens to writers and poets and God knows not. Van Gogh, certainly. He never knew he was so famous. See, that doesn't matter. But whatever that was, that gift in him went with him. Still has it. Expanding on it. So you and I can tell each other and ourselves every day of our lives, well, you see, I just didn't have enough time. You've no idea how busy my life is. I really, from the time I get up in the morning till I go to bed at night, it's go, go, go. And I can say yes to that one. I know what that's like. But then in the end, in the beginning and in the middle, it's your choice, it's my choice. There has to be time in the day for what's the most essential thing in your life and mine. Time with the self. Time with the self. And don't think of the self, the great self, the one, as something out there aside from you. Don't think of yourself sitting down in one chair and the self sitting in another and you having a great conversation. No. The self is within you. The self is within the self. And that's the connection I'm talking about. The Bhagavad Gita says that the self must raise the self. You have to contact that. You have to get in touch with that. And you'll never do it if you're all the time telling yourself you're not something. You're not this, you're not that. You'll never do it if you keep telling yourself, well, I thought before, I came to this, I'd be here or there or yonder with all of this. You could start right here and right now, this very day and this very moment, and decide to know yourself very differently. Decide to be in your own company very differently. Decide to honor yourself. Nurture yourself. Take care of yourself. Not because you're deserving it as a human being, but because of the one who is one with you. And the way to get in touch with that is to be still and know. You're not going to be still and know as long as you're worried, as long as you're anxious, as long as you're concerned. It's not going to happen. So if you're worried, anxious, and concerned, and you sit down to meditate and it's not happening for you, don't be surprised. Before you get to that, you have to work on other things. Do some breathing exercises. Go for a walk. Work out, dance, sing, whatever. Something that's going to take that angst energy out of you and then allow you to be able to leave the shoes of all of that outside the door and enter in, as the scriptures say. Leave your dusty shoes outside the door before you enter in. Before you can be together enough, calm enough, open enough, eager enough, even a tiny bit excited enough to know now I'm going to enter in to the presence. I am going to be one with the source of my being. And when you do that, there's no talking, there's no honey-do list. There's only one ginormous, huge sensation and feeling. It's a feeling thing. And it feels like you are amazingly one with the many that is one, without any one face coming to mind, but you'll feel a huge presence all around. It's not a lonely place. It's not a lonely state. It's just a knowing. A big, huge feeling that is a knowing. And yes, when you come up out of that, maybe the worries of the world will grab you again and you're off into that hurdy-gurdy of the marketplace. But you will have had the experience and you will know you can have it again. And you know something more than you knew before. Now, is that not worth the endeavor? I mean, come on. If I want to be fit, I go to a gym or else I do what I have to do at home. If I want to be good at a game, I go practice. If I want to learn another language, I have to study. Now, spirituality is the same and not the same in a way. In spirituality and its growth and its deepening, I have to show up and be present. That's all I have to do. Show up and be present. I have to be still, get quiet, and train my mind to hush up now. Go sleep over there in the corner until I need you. And you just breathe and breathe and breathe and just delight in the breathing and say, I'm open and I'm ready, not in words, but in the way you're thinking and feeling. And here I am. I'm here. Speak to me. Speak through me. Speak as me. Feel as me. See as me. Hear as me. Move as me. Think as me. Speak. And so on. And have fun with that. And then all of that will go away and you go into the zone, as we say. And something may come to you or something may not come to you, but you'll feel great. Whether you hear something or see something or not, doesn't matter. Now, I know this isn't anything like what I was going to share with you, but obviously it's something that all of us want to hear, or we wouldn't be listening. I want you to feel good about yourself is all I want. I want you to stand up when you're going to stand up and stand tall and feel good about yourself and never mind what's happened in the past, what you did or what you didn't do. We've all committed sins of commission as well as omission. Omission as well as commission. The sins we've brought to ourselves because of something we didn't do. The sins we've brought to ourselves because of something we did do. And you know by now sins are mistakes. It was a mistake not to do that. It was a mistake to do that. And that's okay. You're going to make mistakes. Have you realized that now? For as long as you're wearing this body, you're going to be making mistakes, and so am I. It's how we learn on planet Earth. And as I keep saying to us, and I'll keep saying it, as long as we don't keep making the same ones all over, we're progressing. So feel good about yourself is what I'm saying. As the scriptures say, put on your glad garments. And the garments I'm talking about and scripture talks about is a good mind, a good heart, a good feeling. Those are your garments. What kind of a garment would you call your mind today, especially when you woke up? You don't have to share it. Rhetorical question. What kind of a mind garment do you choose to wear for the rest of the day? Do you want to keep going on being bogged down and concerned about some kind of worry or another? Because as we know the stupidity of worrying, all of us know that stupidity. Instead of doing us some good, it actually does us harm. But you can't help worrying when. It's very understandable, worry. But we can help it if we decide to. There's nothing more powerful than a decision. Nothing more powerful than a decision. The power of decision. It's a book. The power of your decision every day creates the kind of day you're having. And it also, I was going to say, infects the kind of day everybody else around you is having. Your decision, my decision, is most important. And as you know, we have a little song we sing, "Love is my decision." Love is my decision. Everything is a decision. Happiness is a decision you make, not because everything is happy around you, but a decision you make. I'm going to be happy today. Or as one of my teachers said, happiness is the result of one thing. Happiness is the result of every decision you make in the now moment. What's the rest of our day going to be like, my dear ones? What is it going to be like? Is it going to be a day? Is it going to be a day? Is it going to be a day? Is it going to be this day? What day will you give yourself today? Because only you can give yourself a good day. Don't let's waste the rest of our days by making silly choices every day, by selling ourselves short every day, by not taking what is given to us every day and mold it, knead it into the most magnificent loaf of day you could possibly enjoy. So, as the scriptures say, some people settle for the crumbs that fall from the master's table. Let us not be the settlers. Let us not be satisfied with crumbs. Let us bake the bread of heaven, of life. And that's one loaf. When you share it, will never, ever, ever stop producing. However, if you leave it aside, it will go moldy and decay. Isn't that funny? However, as I say, don't take any of this as the thing. Test it out. Test everything out until you prove to yourself it either works or it doesn't work. Don't fall for anything. Who was it that said, if you fall for anything, you'll stand for nothing? And I think it was Malcolm X. You can Google it. If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. We're not fallers, we're standers. We're not sitters, we're movers, we're walkers. So let us every morning decide today is not going to be a day of lethargy. I awake in spirit. I awake in its essence, in its energy, in its vibrancy. And God, by means of me in this day, is inexhaustible. Could we do that? I think we not only could, we certainly can. The question is, will we? Now that's for you to decide. So how are you going to begin? Take all the good stuff in your life and give thanks for it. See all the things you have accomplished and achieved in your life and give thanks for it. Note all your wonderful strengths and be grateful and give thanks. And I assure you, that will shake away the cobwebs of any kind of lethargy, any kind of tendency not to be your best self. And the greatest of all ways to get you on track, to get me on track, is to do something for someone else in our lives that make them feel a little bit more of themselves because of your kindness. That is the greatest sweetness that you can appreciate. And that is your greatest joy. And I know I'm speaking to the choir because we all know that. Just to even put a little smile on someone's face, to have a little dog wag its tail, to have a little kitten purr, to have a child giggle, to cheer up someone. That's huge. Now that's what you and I are all about. So we're going to bring this to an end now so that you and I can get out there and put those smiles and wiggles and giggles and all the rest of it going in our world. And let me tell you, there's one language that is understood by every person on this planet. It's a smile. All right, so now we're going to give thanks and be grateful for all the good we have and realized in our own world. And we are going to take our wonderful gift between our blessing hands, and we are going to feel the gratitudes that we have within ourselves for all our loved ones, for all those in need whom we know, for all of our many, many blessings, which are so many we can't even remember all of them. We're just going to feel gratitude. And especially in this week, at the end of which we remember 9/11. A lot of sad things on the radios and the televisions this week. A lot of sad things. And so in our remembrance of all those great souls who were affected on that day in whatever way, whether they went on over into their next experience, whether they were injured, whether they were left with deep sorrow and sadness, we will remember them all. But we will remember them in the light, knowing that somehow or another, great good comes out of all of that. And I remember that very well. There was great good happening at that time. And I was in New York 3 months after it happened. I was at ground zero. And the sorrow is indescribable that you feel, but the courage of the people, the strength of the people, the determination of the people was awesome. And I trust that they were able to hang on to that and keep it. And I still feel sad that it takes a terrible tragedy to bring us all together in that kind of amazing unity and oneness. My prayer is always that we can experience that and more without any tragedies, without any suffering, but just because we know what we know, what we know. The one within us greets the one out there, which is not out there, but part of what's in here. So we promised on Sunday that we would make this the most peaceful week we could make it. In our thoughts, in our feelings, in our dealings with each other. And it's going to put us, it is putting us to the test, the pin of our collars. But that's the best healing we can bring to the world. To be the peace. To be the understanding. To be the witness instead of the judge in this week. Okay, dear hearts, let's take our gift, let's put it into our wonderful blessing hands and say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, to prosper. All those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good. And I release my gift with love. And so it is. So while we're doing this, if anyone has a question or a comment, I'd be happy to receive either. Thank you. Question? We're just too full, I suppose. We're either too full or we're too focused on what's going on. Well, maybe the fullness that we're feeling now has caused us to feel a little hungry for some food. And so as you go out there into the world, go with your best self. Go with your most cheerful self. Go with that smile on your face that says, I know something very important, and it's good and very good. So take your blessing and graceful selves out there and be the light out there, because God knows we all need the beautiful lamps of light that you are to help heal the world. And thank you for being here today, and thank you for all the good you do in the world, and most of all, thank you for ensuring the legacy of this wonderful center for future generations to come. God only knows what they will do to create a better world. But this spiritual home will be there for them because of us. Off you go into your day, and thank you again for being here. It's always a joy. And I will see you on Sunday, and stay tuned in to all the other things that are going on. Science of Mind class will be starting up soon, and it will be starting in Richelieu Hall. So by the end of the month, you'll know what that's all about. Up and at it, everybody. Thank you all very, very, very much, and take good care of yourselves. And remember, God dwells in you as you. I'll see you outside.